Hello, welcome back to Module 3 of A Beginner's Guide to WordPress. And in this module, we're going to talk about installing WordPress for the first time, and then we're going to log into that WordPress install and just poke around through the settings and talk about what those settings are and what they mean. So the first thing you're going to do is log back into your DreamHost panel if you're not logged in already. So again, that's panel.dreamhost.com, and you're going to use the email address and password that you used when you first registered that hosting account. So once you log in, you come up to your dashboard and you're just going to head over to the menu here, and under goodies, we're going to click that. It's going to expand a little menu down, and we're going to go to one-click installs. One of the things I love about DreamHost is they do make the WordPress install super easy. So once you do one-click installs, it gives you a bunch of these little apps that you can install into your websites, and of course we're going to choose WordPress from right in the middle here. All right, once we click WordPress, it brings up this fun little window. You just click Custom Installation, and then under Custom One-Click Installer, it says Install To. From this drop-down list, make sure you've selected your domain name that we're installing it to. And so, of course, we have repurposechattanooga.com here. And then don't put anything in this field unless you want your WordPress site to be in a different directory. And what that would mean is, what that would look like is, let's say we have repurposechattanooga.com as one website, and then if I did a / another site, whoops, of course it doesn't exist right now, but you could have a WordPress site inside of a different folder on your website. That's usually useful if you have a website that's all HTML based and you're only using WordPress to do your blog, for example, and it might be /blog or something like that, or maybe it's a membership site, so you have /members and only they can access that WordPress install or something of that nature. So in this case, of course, in this scenario, we're just leaving that blank, and then down here select database, just leave it at automatically create database, and then make sure it says deluxe install. Make sure that's checked, because that's going to put in some themes for you for free, and some other options that are just kind of make it easy for the first time user, make it easy for a beginner to understand WordPress a little bit better. And then you just click install it for me now. Real simple. Okay, so once you've clicked the install button, it's going to take you over to this screen that says success. WordPress will be installed to, and it will show you domain name within 10 minutes using, and it gives you the name of the database that they automatically created. But you don't really need to worry about that name unless you're doing something advanced. And it says then you will then receive an email from us with final instructions to configure your new software. So after they install it, they'll send you a little alert via email letting you know that the site's been installed and giving you some instructions. Now usually it doesn't take quite 10 minutes to do the install. It depends on how busy their server is. So it's been about a minute, maybe a minute and a half since I clicked the install button, and I haven't received an email yet, but their email sometimes comes a lot longer after the install is completed. And so what I'm going to do is actually just open another tab and check and see if it's done. And it is. So the install has completed. We're now at this installation screen. So obviously the install of WordPress is not complete, but the install of the WordPress software into your domain was completed by DreamHost. So now we're going to complete the rest of that install. So the first screen you come to is where you select your language. And I'm going to do English United States and hit continue. And then it's a little welcome screen, and here they're going to want some information about your site. So let me explain what each one of these is. A site title is the title of the web page at the top. So for example, if we go over it and hover over this tab of the DreamHost web panel, it says DreamHost web panel, and then it has an arrow, goodies, one-click installs, because that's the screen we're on at that particular page. Similar site or other sites have similar things. For example, if I go to yahoo.com, that tab changes to simply Yahoo. That's their site title, and that's how this site title will appear as well. It will show up as a site title here, but it will also show up as a site title of your site depending on the theme that we use, and we'll get into that more later. So let's just put in here repurpose Chattanooga for my site title, and then a username. I'm just going to put in my name. A lot of people want to put admin or things like that. I recommend using your name and maybe a last initial or maybe first initial last name just to keep it a little more secure so people can't guess what the username is. And then I'll put in a password, of course. And it says it's very weak. So I'm going to include a couple numbers here. And it's medium strength, not bad. And then you go ahead and put in your email address. And then this last setting is privacy, and it says allow search engines to index the site. So you want to keep this checked unless this is a site that's only for personal use or private use, because this will allow Google and Yahoo and Bing and all these other sites to pick up your website and list it in their index. So when people do a search that's related to your site, they'll find you within the results. So once we're done with all these settings, check them over, make sure everything looks good. Then we just go ahead and click Install WordPress. Okay, so once it's completed, it takes us to a success screen, and it tells me my username is John W. The password's the password I chose, of course, and then it has a login screen or a login button. So that means our installation is complete, and we're ready to log in and look at settings. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll actually log into our WordPress site, and I'll go through all the different settings and explain what they all mean.